This is a sensitive and highly debated topic. It is important to approach the subject respectfully, factually, and without promoting discrimination nor harm. This video discusses points raised in public debate while maintaining a respectful tone and complying with YouTube's community guidelines and broader ethical standards. Today we focus on policy discussions, fairness, and science-based perspectives. Should transgender women compete in women's sports? A look at the debate. This topic has sparked passionate opinions from athletes, scientists, advocacy groups, and governing bodies around the world. Supporters of transgender inclusion argue for equal rights and participation. Critics raise concerns about fairness and competitive advantage. So basically, a transgender lady is a lady who did not identify with the social role she was assigned at birth, despite being a biological male. This is because gender is a social construct. A transgender man is a man who did not identify with the role he was assigned at birth, despite being a biological female. Cisgender means that you do identify with the societal role assigned at birth. Gender is a social construct. It has no basis in biology. Biology is a life science with immutable consequences. A cisgender person is a person who identifies with the role assigned at birth and their biology. A cisgender person conforms to societal standards of gender. People confuse biology with the social construct. A transgender person does not need to alter their biology to be transgender. They have the option to surgically and chemically. A transsexual person is someone who specifically altered their biology surgically and chemically to conform to their gender and biology that they identify with, whether it was successful or not. Some immutable consequences of biology are that biologically, a transgender lady cannot get pregnant. Biologically, a transgender lady will not have a menstrual cycle. Biology is a life science. Sociology is a social science. So, sociology means boy, girl, man, woman, wife, husband. Those are roles. Biology is XX female, XY male. Biology is permanent. Menstrual cycles, menopause, ovaries, that's permanent. A uterus is permanent. Transgender people transition to the role they identify with. So boy, girl, man, woman, wife, husband. Sociology or socialization is boy or girl. Those are roles assigned at birth. Boys wear trousers, girls wear dresses. That is not genetic. A girl can wear trousers and a boy can wear a dress. Socially, a boy can choose not to identify with the role they were assigned at birth. He will then transition to the role he socially identifies with. That will mean transitioning to she and becoming a transgender lady or girl. Problems arise when transgender children undergo permanent procedures prior to maturity. You may not identify with the role you're assigned with at birth. However, given natural and hormonal changes, you might identify with your biology at a later stage. Children can't know. Adults, once their hormones have plateaued, will know if they want to remain in the gender they identify with. From this, surgery becomes appropriate. A prime example of this is Elon Musk's daughter's situation. Elon Musk now regrets consenting to permanent procedures for his then teenage son. There is no rush. rushing can result in detransitioning at a later stage in life, which traumatizes the individual. What about someone like Caster Semenya? Caster Semenya was assigned the role of girl at birth. She did not transition to a woman. Therefore, Caster Semenya is not transgender. Then there was the Olympics incident with Imane Khelif, who was assigned the role of girl at birth. She did not transition to a woman, therefore, she is not transgender. Then you get cases like Leah Thomas, Laurel Hubbard, Andrea Yearwood, and Nikki Hiltz, among many others, who are biological males who transitioned to the societal role that they identify with, which is woman. They cannot transition to female because female is biology. In terms of sports, transgender women as biological males will be bigger, stronger, faster, taller, and at an advantage over biological females. It's why transgender women dominate female sports and set records. It is also why Serena Williams was quoted as saying, "Women's tennis is very different from men's tennis." Should transgender women compete against biological females in women's sports? Very simply, no. Transgender women should compete against transgender women, while transgender men compete against transgender men. If you've noticed, transgender men are not outcompeting biological men. It has to be noted that transgender men on testosterone therapy are stronger on average than biological females without testosterone therapy, giving them an unfair advantage. So you have this problem of hormones enhancing females' abilities and biology enhancing transgender ladies' abilities. So they cannot compete against biological females who are not taking testosterone. In terms of women who have naturally high testosterone levels, they are women with unusually high testosterone levels. They should not be punished for their biology. I will note that Serena Williams was dominating the sport of tennis, and she was accused of being a man by her white opponents, resulting in her being tested for doping more frequently than any of her white counterparts. Another scenario is Caster Semenya. When she was dominating her sport, she was accused of being a man by a white counterpart who went on to lose all her races, while forcing Caster to take medications that made her sick while she trained and while she ran. Lastly, Imane Khelif was accused of being a man by a white lady who simply could not withstand the brute force required to compete at the Olympic level. Though she apologized in the end, the damage was done. Serena, Caster, and Imane all identify with their biology and the roles they were assigned at birth. They're not biological males. They are, for all intents and purposes, super females competing at the top tier of their sports. Personally, I'm of the view that transgender women have an unfair advantage over cisgender women and may engender them in competitive sports due to human physiology, which is biological. And these differences are not sufficiently reversed by transgender hormone therapies. However, people who do oppose me state that athletes can be medically prescribed puberty blockers and estrogen to suppress testosterone levels and reduce their muscle mass, reducing their their possible competitive advantages. And they also argue that youth sports are about belonging, well being, and socialization for young people. So this shouldn't impact the gender they compete with. Research shows that male puberty can confer physical advantages, such as greater muscle mass, lung capacity, and bone density. Critics argue that these benefits might persist even after hormone therapy. However, the science is not settled. Some studies suggest that after a year or more of hormone therapy, performance differences may be significantly reduced. Elite athletes like Martina Navratilova and Sharon Davies have publicly questioned current policies, citing concerns about protecting the integrity of women's sports. On the other hand, trans athletes and advocates argue that exclusion based on identity is discriminatory and harmful. This is not just about science, it is also about ethics, identity, and inclusion. How do we balance fairness with the right to compete? Public opinion is divided. Some suggest creating open or mixed categories. Others call for more research and individualized assessment. Whatever your perspective, it is vital to have respectful, informed discussions. Sports should inspire, unite, and challenge us to be better together. Hello everyone, Makadini, and welcome to my channel. Thank you for giving me your precious time and attention. Before I forget, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It costs you nothing, and yet it opens up more opportunities for the channel.